What is going on, guys? This is Philip Sessions with the Healthy Living Sessions podcast. And as we know, it is a close to 2018. Well, the last day, if you're listening to this, the day that this came out. But, anyways, I wanted to talk about the close of 2018. Now, when I started out 2018, well, I guess about a month and a half out from 2018, I asked myself one really big question: what would make 2018 the greatest year of my life? Now, at that time, I was only 26, so I haven't had a ton of years, especially in the adult world. But, I still ask myself that question: what could make this year the greatest year ever? Now, I had 8 goals I wrote down. I won't go into the exact specifics of those, but I wanted to read those goals out and say which ones I actually accomplished and talk about that a little bit. So the first one was to buy a house. The second one was to save $20,000. The third one was to make $100,000 this year. The fourth was to be in a serious relationship. The fifth was to get my pro card in the bodybuilding competitions. Sixth was to start a company. The seventh was to go on one trip that's not to Texas, which is my home state. And number 8 was to start a podcast. Now, I accomplished 5 out of 8 of these goals, and I was so close to accomplishing a sixth one, but I did not quite make it. I guess there wasn't enough year for me, but nonetheless, I got way farther along than I would have if I didn't set up these goals, if I didn't think about how to make 2018 the best year ever. And this is exactly what I'm going to do with 2019. I'm going to make 2019 the best year ever because I constantly want to grow. So, you're probably wondering, what are those goals that you accomplished? Well, I bought a house. I am in a serious relationship. I started a company, and I got to go on at least one trip outside of the state. And then I also started a podcast. Now, the one that I was so close to was making $100,000 this year. That was a huge goal for me, but I was about $3,000 shy of that. So, unfortunately, I didn't do enough things this year to make that goal. But that goal is going to go up even higher. I'm not going to limit it to $100,000 again. So I want to make sure that I set something higher than that. So to ensure that 2019 is an even better year. So I'm definitely not going to focus on my failures. I'm going to focus on the successes, but not focus on them and just live in those glory days, so to speak. But I'm going to use that to catapult me into next year to push for an even better goal. A guy I listen to a ton is Grant Cardone. He always talks about 10xing your goals. So definitely going to be trying to look at 10xing some of these goals or 10xing the type of goals that I have. So think about what you did here in 2018. Did you even set any goals up for 2018? I know everybody usually does New Year's resolutions, and I don't think that's a good thing to do. Rather than trying to eliminate bad habits, I think, it's important to eliminate bad habits, but rather than trying to eliminate bad habits, I think we need to add new habits. We need to add goals, and those goals themselves should help eliminate those bad habits and create new habits for us. Is when we try to eliminate a bad habit alone, if we don't replace it with something else, we're not going to get a better habit. We're not going to get rid of that bad habit. So you need to make sure that you are creating goals, because those goals, as long as they're beneficial for you, then they are going to replace those bad habits. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And then also with creating goals, besides making it where you don't have these bad habits any longer, it also helps you actually accomplish things you want to accomplish, because now you've not only kind of thought about it in your head, but you've written it down. You're now making yourself more accountable. And so you are now held to a higher standard internally. And now one thing I plan on doing this next year is actually writing down my goals and actually saying those goals out. And I'm going to put it on my personal website, those goals for 2019. I'm not sure if I'll do as many goals. I might just do like 2 or 3 really, really big goals and go with that versus doing all these semi-big goals. I want to kind of narrow down my focus on certain things. So I think that's the direction I'm going to go with this year. As of this recording, I have not quite set up my goals. I have ideas in my head, but I have not written anything down. So I'm kind of failing on this myself right now. But I do plan on writing these goals down because this is really important to me. And again, Grant Cardone talks about writing your goals down every day and keeping those at the forefront of your mind. Writing them down in the morning, so the whole day you're thinking about them, and writing them down at night, so the whole night you're dreaming about those goals. Because the more they're in your thoughts, you're gonna end up accomplishing them. Because if they're always on your mind, you're gonna feel like you have to do it, or you're failing yourself. And really you are. You're failing yourself whether you make goals or not. So, when I said this to myself last year, and I did it with 2 friends, and we really talked about this, and we all really did a lot more than we ever expected we were going to do this year by asking that one simple question: what will make 2018 the greatest year ever? And now, obviously, we're going into 2019, so you need to ask yourself the question: what will make 2019 the greatest year ever? 2019 is right here. It's time to figure it out. And just because it's the new year doesn't mean you have to come up with something new. But if you haven't done anything yet, go ahead and come up with it. If it takes you a month, that's fine. Get started at some point. Don't just wait, I'll wait till January next year. I'm going to do my New Year's resolution. No, do it now. It doesn't matter when you do it as long as you start. Because the longer you wait to start, the longer it's going to take for you to do something. You've got to just go for it and execute. Write down some goals and go for them. Now, don't make them so easy where you can say at the end of the year, oh, yeah, I accomplished all my goals. You don't want that. You don't want that at all. Who wants to accomplish every single goal because they were so easy? Now, yes, I would have loved to have accomplished all 8 goals I wrote down for myself this year, but I made them challenging so that way I would really have to stretch myself and really push myself to get those goals. Now, if you just make them like, oh, I'm going to eat healthy meals at least 3 times a week, that's not good enough, guys. That's an easy goal. You could go to a food catering place that makes healthy meals and do that. And then it also depends on what you decide is healthy. Is it maybe just less carbs in there? No sugars for the day, something like that. You could easily reach a goal like that. Set a goal out there or goals out there that are really going to be hard for you to do. Because I promise, even if you don't get those goals, you're going to be happy with your results. Les Brown said it perfectly. Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. So shoot for those audacious goals, and even if you miss, you're going to be amongst the stars. You're going to be way further out there than you ever expected. And you never know. You might set a goal for one direction, and then you realize that wasn't the direction you wanted to go. And so you course correct, you change that. It's okay to change goals in the middle of the year, but I suggest at a minimum sticking to something for 3 months. But I really suggest sticking to something for at a minimum of 6 months. 3 is just a little too less of time to spend on something. You really need to spend that 6 months on something. That's when you're really going to have a concrete understanding of whether you really need to keep pursuing this or, it's not something that's for you. So with these goals you make, you need to make sure that you are willing to go through with them. Don't just give up after a few days like we see with the New Year's resolutions people that go to the gym. They say, man, this year I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to do so much better and get that body I've always wanted. And January 1st rolls around, boom, they're there. January 2nd, boom, they're there. 3rd, they're there, boom. On and on. And by the time the 10th rolls around, you see a huge decline in them. And by the 31st of January, probably 75% of them are gone. And by the 28th of February, let's just say the 1st of March, since sometimes we have leap years, the 1st of March, probably 95% of those people are gone. So make sure whatever goal it is, you're actually going to stick to it. Make sure it's something that is feasible with your schedule. I know we all have busy schedules. I know there's so many other things that we need to do in life. We have life in our way, but make sure you're willing to dedicate that time. You're willing to take time away from other things in order to help better yourself with these goals, because that's what these goals are for. They're to help better yourself, to make you a better person, to improve your life in whatever situation you may be in now. Maybe it's just something new you want to learn. Whatever it is, you have a reason why you're doing it. So make sure you have full intentions of doing it and stick to it. You need to stick to it for at least 6 months, because you're never going to know if you truly enjoyed it unless you go through it for 6 months. And as you're going through, if you find it's difficult to do certain things, tweak it a little bit. Don't change everything completely, but just make small tweaks here and there. For instance, going to the gym, like I've been talking about, if it's not working out to go after work, go before work. Or one thing I usually do, if I go after work, I take my gym bag with me to work, and I change when I'm there at the gym. I don't come home first, because when I come home, then I'll end up finding all these little things to do, and then it ends up taking me an hour instead of just going home, changing, and going to the gym. So make sure you either get up in the morning and go on your way to work, so you're going to have to get up an extra hour or two early. I would suggest 2 hours early, but maybe you can get it done by only getting up an hour earlier. Go to the gym before work or after work. Do not go home. I would really suggest that, especially for those of you that are trying to make this a new habit for yourself. And then on top of that, don't change every single thing. People are really bad about this. I'm gonna get in great shape this year. So what do? They cut out all junk food. They cut out all sweets. They cut out like everything, go down to like 1,000 calories a day, and then they try and work out super hard for like 2 hours a day. That is not feasible. That's not feasible for anybody, first of all, 1,000 calories. But especially if you're not used to dieting and you're not used to going to the gym, you're not going to succeed. So you need to make sure, along with these audacious goals, that you also set up a plan on how you're going to accomplish that. Now, you don't need to plan out every little detail, but make sure you have some ideas of how you're going to do that. Consult people. There's tons of information out there. YouTube is wonderful for things like this. You can find so much information on anything you need to do to figure out how to do that. But the biggest thing is that you need to just start doing it. Don't wait for the new year, unless you're just listening to this right before the new year. But don't wait until 2020. Do it now. If you're listening to this whenever you're listening to this, do it now. Don't wait. Because you waiting is going to be the worst thing ever. You are going to regret it. You wish you would have started earlier, and you never did it. And here you are. You thought about it for forever, and yet you still haven't done it. So stop thinking and start doing. I want to leave you guys with this question to think about. I know it's the day before 2019, but go ahead and just think about it. Take a few days to meditate upon it, and then go after it. What will make 2019 your greatest year ever? I don't care how young or old you are, you can make 2019 your greatest year ever. So think about that, meditate upon it, and go out and do it. This is Philip Sessions with the Healthy Living Sessions podcast. I hope this was inspirational for you. I sincerely hope that you go out and accomplish every single goal that you set for yourself, but make sure they're big goals. Don't make them easy goals. Make them huge goals. Make it something that's hard to accomplish, that really makes you grow, and get partners of accountability, whether that be just posting it on social media or actually having a spouse, friend, family member being that accountability partner. Get somebody to do that. Now, guys, please leave a review, share this, go ahead and subscribe to my podcast here. It really helps me out and it helps others out. Share this message with others. Let them know that you're thinking about them. Let them be able to hear this message. I want to really share all this information that I give to you because I don't want to keep it to myself and I don't want to keep it to just a few people. I want everybody to start thinking like this and think about how they can change their life. Now, this is the day before 2019. Make 2019 your year. Don't wait any longer. Execute. I hope you guys have a blessed day and a blessed year. I know this is going to be an amazing year for you all.